Scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my channel once again. Today it is the 16th of May and I am bringing you a card process video. So you can see I've got this cut file here. It is a cut to you cut file, of course. It is called Floral Tags, and a couple of months ago Cut to You and SpiegelMom Scraps got together and we were featuring some of the Fab Foils. And I did some experiments before I created what I actually shared, and this was one of my experiments. It turned out beautifully, as you can see, and I decided to make a card with it. I am creating a shaker pocket with this one. Now, this cut file, the lines are really quite thin. So I did have a little bit of hassle with that, but what I've done is I have used some wet glue and I have stuck my tag to some acetate. You can see I'm just trimming around that now, and I've got a couple of things on my desk that I'm going to be playing with to make my card. I thought I'd start with that grey piece of cardstock that I've got there. For my card base, which I do change my mind on, I've also got a Charms Creation music note heart to the right, and some cream cardstock, and the bright green is my foam. As you can see, I've got some really thin strips here. In the finished card, you can see a bit of green, but it doesn't look awful. And if it does, it's too late. The card's been given. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I've trimmed around the acetate with my scissors and then also punched a hole in the little hole bit of the tag with my hole punch. Sorry, I forgot the word of it then. And I am filling my tag with my little shaker pocket here with some sequins from SpiegelMom Scraps. This is the Black Magic sequin mix, and it's blacks and golds, and I love it. So I've got my cream cardstock that I'm just laying over the back of that, and I just use my stamp block to smush it down to make sure that it adhered, because my stamp block is nice and flat and smooth, so I could run that along the back there. I'm going to let this dry, and you can see I've pulled out to the left there another piece of pattern paper that is from a Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection. I'm going to use that as my card base. And I'm just using my craft knife here, nice simple shape, and trimming around this cream cardstock. And I'm going to go back in with my scissors and just tidy up the edges a little bit so that you cannot see the foam quite as much as you could when I first started. And you can see I'm just having a little bit of trouble with a couple of the bits, but it all works out in the end. And I've kind of cut them so they're at a little bit of an angle. I'm going to go back in with that hole punch. And I'm really loving the way this is looking. I love that on the wood grain. And then with my Charms Creation heart over the top. Just trying to work out exactly how I want my placement here. Decided I needed something in my background. So I've pulled out this. It's actually a Kaiser Craft stamp. And I've just inked up in black and added that detail to the bottom right corner. Put everything back on. I'm like, I need something else. So I'm going to ink up the top. Well, ink up the left-hand side of that stamp and stamp just up the top there. Just a little bit of extra detail in my background. And then I'm going to use, I've got some black and white twine there, but I'm also going to use some of the same black ink and ink around the edge of my card base. Really happy with how this is looking. I'm going to stick this down, just using my double-sided adhesive, my ATG, double-sided adhesive, same. And I'm just going to glue the ends of that twine in place. I don't often do that, but sometimes I do. I'm going to add a little bit of dimension to one side of this. You see here that I do add 2 layers, and I end up taking one of them off because it's too high. What next? I think I'm going to come in here with, my foam blending tool and ink up the edges. And then what's left? I'm going to add my sentiment. And so I've used a die that I've got in my stash. It's Tim Holtz die. and it's like a vintagey kind of antique kind of looking one. And I cut some alphabet on black cardstock. I've pulled out my Tim Holtz little tiny talk sticker things, and I feel so lucky is the one I've pulled out in black. And then here is the alphas. I have obviously run it through twice so that I can have my 2 M's. I'm going to stick my word mum down, and then stick my tiny word sticker on top, and stick my card front to my card base. I'm just working on some, I think it's basil textured cardstock that I've cut down to size. I'm going to use my Scotch tacky glue to stick that down. And then add some gold splatters. I thought that would be just a really nice finishing touch. I really like the way this card turned out. Quite often my cards kind of come about as a last minute thing. I need to make a card for someone quick, pull out some supplies and off I go. And I thought that I would record my process of this one today. So there you go. I'm really happy with this. And there you go, you can see those sequins shaking around. I gave it to my mum and she loved it as well. And here are the close-up photos. I hope that you have enjoyed. Maybe I have inspired you to create your own shaker pocket. As always, thank you very, very much for stopping by and choosing to spend your time with me. I look forward to being back again tomorrow with another share for you. And in the meantime, have a fantastic scrappy day.